we are our worst critics. We're our best supporters. But our community at times, you guys are hard on people.
I remember coming to, playing in Mandir and not knowing what the hell I was playing. Pardon my language, but not having any idea what I was playing.
I know what I'm about. I know my foundation. And stepping into that, it gets me working. I had my puri leaves with rice and dal and my 7 curry, and I was eating.
Sane.
Yes, there you go, that word that nobody knows what it means, right? Sane that?
Can you spell the word sane for me?
Honey, I've never heard that.
I cannot.
Brandon, have you ever sane something before?
Of course, all the time.
It's
I guess, Bharati, like being the pundit's daughter, right? Like, was there a lot of things you couldn't do?
My name is Mark Prasad. I'm a personal injury attorney located in New York. My firm and myself are located in Queens, New York. We represent all of New York, whether you're in Queens County, Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Staten Island, Long Island, Nassau, or Suffolk. I'm an attorney that can get you the maximum compensation for the injuries that you have from an accident. If you've ever been involved in an accident, give me a call at 657-799-6171. I guarantee you I will fight till the end to get the maximum compensation for you.
Hey guys, so welcome back to the KIC Back podcast. So today we have a special guest, our first guest actually, someone who was very instrumental to where we are today. We have Miss Bharati Sukul Kemraj. A round of applause.
Hello and namaste.
So Bharati was very instrumental because she really believed in us when we sounded like crap, right? And she put us in front of, and her dad as well, and her entire family really put us in front of like crowds and people to build our confidence at first. So want to thank you so much for that. And
Most welcome.
and we just wanted to learn a little bit more about you and what you do for the community. And I see you wearing the sari. Where are you coming from now?
I am. I'm a little nervous though. It's all of you. I just thought it was like going to be something small. But I actually started a first of its kind STEM and STEAM program at one of the schools in the borough of the Bronx, and it's called Prana. And it's where dance and wellness and culture all comes together, teaching students a little bit about myself, where I come from, and all the amazing richness of our Hindu culture, of Bollywood dancing, thus the sari. And I'm excited that it's kicked off today, and I'm here today for the first time, so a lot of firsts today. And this is nice.
Awesome.
So first of all, being the fact that you're in a sari, and we just celebrated Navrat. Happy Navrat to you and your family. Let's get right into it. I want to ask, right? Tell us some things, right, that you do for our community, right? Because our community, it's not so big out here in New York, out in the States. So tell us some of the things that you have been doing, right? That has been encouraging the youths, encouraging our older folks to come out, and to share the knowledge that they have, to share the culture, to share the foundations of where we rooted from. Tell us about
So 12 years ago, I started the Bharati Foundation, a place to connect resources back into the community. And we hosted Bollywood in the Bronx.
We love Bollywood in the Bronx. Yeah.
do love Bollywood in the Bronx.
Never
12
missed that.
years strong. And it was a way of giving back to the community through our culture. We're very rich in our spices, and showcasing that through our culture, our music, and religious practices was not everywhere where I went. And I wanted to be a part of my life. So I was very instrumental and intentional in putting our people out there. And when I invited Rich, I heard him play Tasa. He had a different group at that time. And he's like, what are we going to be doing? I said, just come to Westchester Square with the Westchester Square bid. And at that time, I have to give credit to Lisa Soren, who's now with the Chamber of Commerce. And she was all about showcasing culture and wanted to do something new. And she allowed me the space to share our culture. And it started with that as a staple in the community, bringing our people out. And I remember it was just the DJ, our performers, and a few guests. And it grew into something massive, which you also took part last year and was recognized at the Bronx Zoo. And it was a sit-down dinner for almost 200 families,
Yeah, that's
sharing dance and music. And I think I have been very intentional, as I mentioned, to bringing our culture through music, through the arts, and through our Vishnu Mandir Hindu temple.
Yes.
30 years ago, my dad and several other members felt the need that there was not enough spaces where our Hindu communities gather and be themselves, and also have an open door policy to anyone that wanted to learn about culture. So he started the Vishnu Mandir Hindu Temple on Noble Avenue. Bittersweet, he passed in 2019, and the community rallied together to get signatures and got it passed, where the street, Westchester and Noble Avenue, was co-named after him.
I know,
So
that's
first Guyanese Hindu priest to have a street name,
I
Pandit
also
Vishnu
want to say
Sukul Kemraj.
congratulations to you guys for being
Thank
able
you.
to do that.
Yeah.
That was a big step in our community. Not
The
only
So, yeah.
not only in the Bronx, but in our in our religion community. For a pandit to have his name on a street,
On the street.
No, it
that
means a lot,
he
right?
he made an impact. He made an impact on those people, on a lot of people, so that way he would be able to be celebrated the way he's being celebrated.
Bharati,
And
so-
in 2019, that happened. And the Mandir has been there over 30 years, and we continue to do a lot under the leadership of my brother, Pandit Vyas.
I know. Bharati, so your dad has been instrumental to all of us. He actually married my mom and dad back in like 1990, I think. And growing up with your dad, how did he help shape you into like the culture and the religion, going to church and, being there every Sunday?
Well, if he was here, it would be like church.
Mandir, sorry, Mandir.
Come on.
Yeah,
I usually slip up and say church too, but
I was actually
Mandir.
looking at you when you said church. I'm like, you should be saying Mandir.
No, you know what it is? I
Temple.
think like I went to Catholic school, so I'm just so used to, I'm programmed to
My
say
sister
church.
too. My sister. My dad would say, you're one religion during the day, and then at night, you come to the Hindu celebrations. My dad was very open-minded, but at the same time, he was deeply rooted in his Hindu culture. Growing up in a Brahmin family and having several brothers and sisters and learning Hindi, Sanskrit, he knew how to read, write, and speak it.
Wow.
And I think that spoke volume as to how much he loved it. It was something that he was taught at birth, grew up learning, kept practicing, kept enhancing his own knowledge. And anywhere he went, he preached the name of God and Hinduism. And he didn't change the way you are. He'll meet you where you're at, and then he'll go from there. And I think that's what made him special. And if he was in a room, 100, 500, even one person, he made you feel like you were the only one there when he was speaking. And I think that's what people remembers about him.
Yeah.
And I think that's so beautiful when you leave a room and someone can remember how you made them feel.
Mm-hmm.
I pride myself on his life and his legacy, and I know all of my brothers and sisters do, and even his devotees. And when my dad passed, we had to learn very quickly that other people knew him longer than we did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And not only that, you said, it's the impact that he leave on people's life. For his passing, again, our condolences to you and the family for that. But when he passed, I was fortunate enough to be there, and experienced his life that he lived through the people that came out to celebrate the life he lived. The words that were said, all the good things he did for the community, the way he brought the community together, the way he was pushing the youths, to move forward, to push forward, and to never forget their culture, to never forget their heritage, never forget where they came from, and that's something that I, that he inspired in me to never forget as well.
And I think you got a firsthand feeling when you came to our Vishnu Mandir.
I
They
did,
could
I
be
did.
3 or 5 drummers, and my dad would intentionally give each one of them a different chaupai, a different bhajan. And he would always say to the older folks, like, you had your chance when you were learning. They have to learn. And
young
how will
up,
they
yep.
learn if they have nowhere to practice?
No, absolutely. No,
So
and
he made sure every single service something was happening. So new members who came was like, what's happening here? This pandit's giving every musician a chance to play. But that was also showcasing their talent and enhancing their own skills.
And that's also
absolutely.
that's the beauty about it. Going to temple, they could, like you said, there could be 5, 6 drummers there. There could be 20 people that sings. It's about being able to give that person a chance, being able to give the next person a chance, so they can showcase their talent in their own particular way. And when it came down to that, your dad You know, your dad was big into that. He supported that very much to the point where, like you said, everyone that came that attended the temple had a chance to perform in some type of way possible. He made sure of that. He made sure that everybody that was there that attended was partaking in some form or another.
So, no, and you know, your dad also made us feel like at the time when we were first coming up, first starting up, that we were doing something good and positive, right? And he try to also reinforce that by he would give us a little raise. He'll give us a little, you know, he'll give us $101 specifically. All right. And I'll always remember that because he would like make me feel like, wow, we're doing something good and we should keep learning. And at that time, it meant a lot. It meant a lot.
He had a thing about numbers, and my dad always believed in giving one extra than what the numbers were. And he did it when he was trading. He did it in his everyday work. Not only was he a pundit, but he was a finance person, and he could calculate numbers by the thousands in his head. And everyone was just amazed. Every time he read from the scriptures, he would memorize things. But he really believed in the youth. And he believed that enhancing your skills, no one could take that away from you. They could move you out of a position, a title, or whatever it is, or the place you sit, but they could never take away your skill set. And he wanted the youth to understand that whatever you did outside of Mandir, you did outside of Mandir. When you came to the Vishnu Mandir, you better make sure you had your kurta properly dressed. You were there. If he knew that you had some sort of a talent, better believe that you will be called up front to play the drum, and you always sit in the back. And he'll always he'll always call you. So that's a great thing.
About me always sitting in the back. I've been to the temple for a number of years now. Actually, I wasn't born here, right? I migrated to the country back in '09, and when I migrated here, one of the first temples that I attended, right, was Vishnu Mandir in the Bronx, only because it was very close by.
Yeah, it's right there.
It was very close by. It was also the temple that my grandfather was attending at the same time too. So when I came over here, being the fact that I was playing drums, I always looked up to my grandfather to sing, so I could practice my skills with my drumming. He attended the temple, so I followed, and I followed and I followed, and I kept on going. Not just because now, okay, boom, my grandfather is there singing, but now there are days where he was not there, but I was.
Yeah.
And that was only because the influence that Pandit had on us, he had on the congregation, he make you want to come back, right? If he's reading the Ramayana, right, we're coming to an end. Oh, and he was very punctual.
No, actually, no. We have to talk about that though, right?
Right.
In all our years of like going to Mandir, going to weddings, right? When I saw your dad at an event,
oh yeah, so
I'm
happy.
like, oh man, we're gonna get home on time today. And your dad, when he means 9:30, he means 9:30.
This guy, he loves your dad and your brother. Right? Punctual.
Yeah, very much. Our services, whether it started at the time he was around, it was like 7:30 to 11:30 or 8 to 12 or whatever the time was, even with pujas and stuff he went on. Okay, given sometimes traffic or whatever the case may be, you start on time, you finish on time. I remember one time the Bronx Borough president came and he was just like, we have 2 minutes to closing. I was like, oh no. And he made sure, but he wanted people to understand that time is so valuable. It doesn't wait for anyone. Yeah. And it keeps ticking. So we have to put that into, practice. But yeah, it's funny how you guys remember the little things about him.
Absolutely. And
that's an imprint that he left. Imprints are things that you carry with you, right? When you're born, you come into the world, you came in empty-handed, no clothes on your skin, right? Nothing. Not even being able to walk or talk, right? So it's a learning process, and your dad being there a part in my life, it was a learning process for me, right? Getting to know him and understand the way he was carrying on his ceremony and the way he carried himself, right? I learned that he respected a lot of people, and a lot of people respected him, because of the person that he was, the genuine person that he was. Something I want to ask you, right, is your father left such a huge imprint on the community, right? And throughout the years, I saw you picked it up and you started sharing that same,
Yeah, we went to Monday the other day. You were leading the.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did, and I was surprised. I was actually
No, you did a
surprised
great
and
job. You
shocked,
did a great job,
Thank
actually.
you.
right?
It
Props
so
to you.
happened that my brothers, they had work and other arrangements, and they ended up running late. And sometimes that happened. And I think that's the beautiful thing that my dad left us with at our Vishnu Mandir. He made sure every single one of his devotees didn't just come there and sit. They knew the mantras, they knew the prayers. So people would actually tell him, oh, your devotee was in my puja today, or they attended our mandir. Why? Because they would sing along with the pandits, and that was his thing. He wanted to educate everybody. So even if the adults and the musicians weren't there, whoever was could do a little bit to carry on the service. And I'm getting like emotional, but it's so beautiful to hear someone else speak about it, right? Because we grew up, we see pundits, we see our Hindu community, but we never have a space to talk about it and reflect on our families. And I think that's why so many stories are so lost.
Well, and that's honestly why we wanted
And
to do
this
this.
is beautiful.
Yeah, this
and
is why
I
wanted
think
to do
having you guys here, at first I was nervous. I was like, oh no, it's all four of you. What's going on? I was expecting you to play the tassa coming in and everything.
No.
But it is beautiful. And honestly, whenever I can, I was 7 years old when I came over here from Guyana, and I started going with my dad to pujas, and I learned by looking at him. And I think that's the beautiful thing. So it means a lot, and whatever I can do and however I could do it to let our people know that we're there, the Vishnu Mandir is there, I'm there, my brothers are there, you guys are there. It's beautiful when you have a spider web of contact individuals of your own kind that you can call and reach out to.
Mm-hmm.
So Bharati, I knew we've been around quite some time. You've seen us from when we were nothing, I guess you could say, right? To where we are now. So, in your eyes, you could let everybody else know, how have you seen us from throughout the years, from since you first known us to where we are now, doing this with us now? Obviously, like every step of the way, as we continue to grow, we want to take you with us, and same with us to you. But, throughout the years, how have you seen us evolve, or how have you seen us change? And, what do you think about us? What do you think about what we're doing? Just your general advice, your general idea about everything here.
Well, you guys gotta make sure you pack a lot of coffee if you're coming along, or some chai. I think it is so beautiful. And I know this is probably one of the segments where we are serious and we get emotional and we also go back in history. It is beautiful. And I'm literally talking to all the guests that are watching as well as you guys. It is so beautiful to watch and see you grow. It is priceless to know the skill set that you possess and how you have worked to perfect and enhance it, from being 3 individuals out in Westchester Square in the borough of the Bronx, not sure of what you're doing, how you're doing it, but playing those drums, to the fact that you're all over the world now. You're everywhere. It is so beautiful. When I watch, I'm like, oh my gosh, these are the celebrities of our community and in high demand. And something that touched me a couple of months ago was when you reached out to find a Dominican drummer. And I thought that was so beautiful to cross the cultures, because I do Bollywood and salsa and Bollywood and bomba. And I try to incorporate our music so people understand it, but can relate to it. So showcasing diversity is something. And you guys are doing that. And you've come from individuals on your own lane, in your own lanes, doing your own thing, to being a team, to being brothers, to being family, to watching each other grow. So someone who's there and now on the outside looking in, it's absolutely amazing. And for everyone who doesn't know, these guys literally have worked ground up. And I always say, when people do that, they're not a jack of all trades. They're a master of few. So you guys have mastered your skill sets and you continue to grow. And that's the beautiful thing about having a skill. You can continue to grow and enhance it. And anyone out there that wants to do something, look at these guys. We're gonna put up pictures and recap and make sure that you see what they looked like before. It was never perfect, but it's not about being perfect.
Definitely wasn't perfect.
Still not perfect.
I mean, the reason I asked the question is not just to get praise. I mean, thank you for the praise. We'll take it. But,
Yeah, imagine
It's
gotta be
more of
humble,
like,
man.
I remember coming to, playing in Mandir and not knowing what the hell I was playing. Pardon my language, but not having any idea what I was playing. But just we were playing and you guys would
Yeah.
dance. Like, you would
It was
literally pull people
No,
and say,
she would
"Oh,
dance. Yeah,
like get
absolutely.
people to
And
pull
I
and
was like, I
dance,
want to
make
know
it
what
look
you're
like."
dancing to because I wouldn't
Yeah,
dance.
exactly, right? Like you would make people dance and like make people enjoy themselves and like actually like get people more involved and like
Listen, anywhere you go, eventually noise becomes music if you have a good
Yeah,
heart and you've got
exactly,
creativity, right? And you've done that. So from being there and not even knowing what you were doing,
yeah.
we obviously enjoyed it, and we can talk about it now. But I remember having you guys there, and I'll be like, play. And you're like, what do I play?
Yeah.
Or
literally
you
not
notice the
knowing.
eye singlet, and then you're like, damn, this is what my mom used to do.
Yeah.
Like, now I understand it. But seeing you guys there, and then even dress code. If you go back some photos, it's like, did you think about what you were wearing?
I
to
think one
this
time I
wedding?
came in shorts. Yeah, I think one time I came to Monday with shorts.
I think
Imagine me
remember.
having some questionable dress codes. But
I remember that one time you pulled up in shorts.
Yeah, that was. But I mean, no, it was like the way that it evolved, right? Because I mean, there was times we were playing where it was just the people that were in the Monday alone, and then there were times where, like you say, Bronx Borough President was there. And then the mayor was there. And
No,
it's like,
yeah,
oh crap!
no,
Like
no.
we got to start sounding good, otherwise, we can't be playing in front of the mayor of New
I
York
had
and
a lot of
sound
firsts
like.
taking out the Tassa drummers.
Oh, for
right?
sure. Oh, I
because
remember
it
us-
was City Hall. It was
City
the
Hall,
borough
yeah, I remember
president's
us going.
office.
I would literally take the train after work and come to City Hall to meet these guys there. And I remember just playing around a bunch of all these people that were like, government officials and stuff like that.
Yeah,
People like
yeah.
you see their name on news. I've seen some of these guys on TV, and I'm like, wait, I remember seeing them at Bharati's event or something like that. Like, oh, this guy must be popular. He's been on the news like
But
2
look
days
at how
now.
it's turned out. People are watching you guys on TV
So,
and seeing all these videos.
He keep on mentioning, like the mayor and stuff. I wanna ask you real quick, right? How was it for you to be able to, incorporate, the government officials?
Yeah, how the hell you got them down there?
Yeah, yeah, that-
Like
No,
listen
so,
to us out of
Rodney,
all people.
that is a cool point, right? Because I remember coming to Temple as a child, and I'm seeing the Bronx Borough president, right? That was interesting.
I didn't know who they were until you brought them. To be honest, I didn't know.
No, but like I was like, wow, this is are we gonna be in the news here? Like, is this gonna be?
That was always Rich's question on the side. Is this going to be shown later?
Because I was like, I gotta make sure I look good too,
Not wear the shorts.
So I started out fresh out of college. I went for an interview at Bronx Net Television, local public access station, and I didn't get the internship. But right when I was about to leave, they were like, your resume looks really organized. We have an executive assistant position open. And I end up working at the TV station, reporting, producing, doing local news stories and coverage for quite a few years. And after that, I went into city government, worked at the local community board 11, sat on board 9, and that led me into the office of the Bronx Borough President. Yeah. And from there, it was every time they had a heritage event, and we did the first of its kind. So it made me remember my dad, who started under the Ferrer administration, the Holy Pagua in the borough of the Bronx with members from different mandirs. And under the leadership of Ruben Diaz Jr., we had the very first Diwali celebration. And it was over 400 members that came out in the community, and we did amazing things. But then when it was to showcase more, I'm like, we could have the Tassa drummers come. No, I didn't even know what ideas I was coming up with, but the fact that they were executed and it came out beautiful,
Yeah.
that was a lovely thing. And currently, I'm a vice president with Patrick B. Jenkins and Associate. It's a lobbyist consultant firm, and absolutely love my boss. The last 7 years I've been there. I get to do all my cultural things and still work in government and be around so many different titles. And I think what's beautiful about it is that I know where I came from. I know what I'm about. I know my foundation. And stepping into that, it gets me working, utilizing my skills. But also it opens the doors for our community.
Yeah.
And through events, activities, even tragedy, people don't know enough about our people or our culture. So they don't ask questions. So if we're the ones to plug an idea and they wake up and thinking it's theirs, I love that because that's what we want. We want everybody to ask. If in a time when we talk about inclusivity and diversity, I want people to know that the Hindu community, the Guyanese community, Trinidadian community, West Indies, the Caribbean, Indo-Caribbean, we're here. We've got so much to offer. You just have to tap our resources.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Bharati, what would you say to, like, I guess, segue into that question, right? Similar younger women in your position or men or whoever it is that are trying to get into government or, trying to kind of mimic a similar route to you, what's like your advice to that? If you were them, what would you have done differently? What would you suggest doing, trying to get into a similar position to where you are now?
We only know what we're told or what we're taught. I would say if you're on social media, if you have a phone, if you have a network of individuals or even one person you can talk to, anything and everything is possible. Yes, we learn about being a doctor and a lawyer and working in an office, but there's so many other careers, so many other jobs out there. Yeah. And all of you need to venture out. The same way we want to take a vacation, we go watch a movie, we see what's coming out. Look at the facilities, the organizations, the offices that are in and around the area, and allow that to be where you let your curiosity go, because career is something that you can go into and it can change. No one ever tells us that. But for myself, Absolutely. Being a brown woman, being out in the community, you are as strong as all your skill set. We carry all of our ancestors with us. We're like their wildest dreams because the things we're doing now for men and women, they probably never even got the opportunity to think about it. Yeah. So anyone who wants to go into government, who wants to go into a career that is not of the norm and you don't see it everywhere you look, start looking at individuals who look like us, who don't look like us, and say, I wonder what it takes to be what does it take to be a commissioner? What does it take to work for Parks Department? What does it take to work in your local elected office on city, state, and federal level? What are the positions that are open? You have expertise in the hospital. Some people don't know even if you're not a nurse or a doctor or have those qualifications, you can still work in a hospital.
Yeah.
Right. So I will tell them
many different roles.
The same way you take time to plan what you're eating, what you're wearing, where you're going on your vacation. Start looking into those things with your skill set so that it could fit somewhere. And if you like something, go for it. I know not everybody has that opportunity. And sometimes you try to be careful with your words. But I tell anyone and everyone, you have one life to live.
That's right.
Live it so you don't regret it. But be proud of yourself, because at the end of the day, when you look in that mirror, you want to say, yes, I did that. And even if you did something you weren't happy about, it's okay. You wake up the next day and it's another 24 hours to do something different.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely.
You have to believe, you have to. And you have to be your biggest cheerleader and supporter, because sometimes, unfortunately, when you look behind you or you look in front of you, you don't see anyone that looks like you.
Yeah, no.
So it's hard to ask something you can't see or someone you can't see. But when you can see and relate, who would know that you're playing Tasa or beating the drum and you work in a hospital?
Yeah.
Do all of these amazing things behind the scene.
No, but kudos to you, Bharati, because I know every time
absolutely.
You turn on a TV or you watch some government program and you see the brown lady in the sorry, it's Bharati. I was like, yeah, that's definitely Bharati
that
somewhere.
Actually is a good segue to my point, right? Every time we see you on social media or TV, you're always trying to do something to help the community, help the surrounding community that we live in. What really drives you? What is your motivation to, especially with the Bharati Foundation and all the food drives and all the different things that you do?
I love life. I love culture. And I just want to share that with the world. I made a conscious decision years ago that every time I go somewhere, if I can, I will wear a sari. I will wear something that represents my culture, whether it's my bangles, whether it's the dupattas that I have, whether it's a bindi. Why? Because people ask questions, and it also represents our culture. But coming from Guyana, the Caribbean, or the West Indies, a lot of times we don't wear our cultural attire out. But a lot of South Asians do. And that's where our ancestors are from, the motherland, homeland, whatever you call it. This is where our life started. It is part of us. And it doesn't matter how much has changed during the years. It's still part of us. So not that I sit in Mandir with my sari all the time. You guys have seen me all over the place. And I am in my suit or regular attire at times. But I just love to showcase it. And my passion really comes from life and people. I thrive on energy. I thrive on any little thing that sparks an interest or that has color to it. And even if it's an idea, I'm like, how do we make this happen?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's just like, I can do all the things I do because I love what I do. And I always joke and say that the day I start working, I find a new job.
Yeah.
But that's just because I absolutely love every single thing. From the Dance Academy teaching Bollywood and dance, to the Bharati Foundation connecting resources back into the community, or Vishnu Mandir is a staple there. People from all around the world has gathered into a safe space to practice their religion and be who they are. Even non-Hindus come there because they feel that spirituality is a thing rather than just religion. And they find family and community after they've been looking for such a very long time, and they haven't found that. We have a group of Bangladeshi Hindus that come. They don't even speak English, but they come because they feel the love there, and they get to do their offerings and do everything. And in my professional life, I've worked very hard, going to high school over here and college, graduating from Fordham University to having my degree and then putting it into practice. So my experience, my work, everything is part of my life, and it just makes me want to wake up every day and keep doing this amazing stuff.
Yeah, Richie really likes the food pantries.
We've had these massive, since pandemic, we kind of had to pivot and invite our community to come out because we realized very quickly that they needed resources. So March of 2020, when pandemic really hit,
Yeah, I remember.
and nobody wanted to be out there, we were out there doing food justice work, giving out essential items, and just also sharing culture, because we would have a full theater outside.
Yeah, I know.
The Mandir. It would be Noble Avenue would be shut down halfway, and we would have a farmer's market set up because what you eat, I don't. So not everybody was taking, and we were wasting resources.
Yeah.
So we wanted to have a farmer's market. People could take whatever they wanted. Our volunteers could help out as well. We would have poetry, award ceremony, dancers,
Yeah, I know.
all out there on the streets. And it worked perfectly.
Buddy, so like growing up in the Bronx, I know like there are a good amount of West Indian people where we live. Not the majority though aren't, right? So how was your time growing up in the Bronx, being so involved in the culture and the religion, especially with your dad, who I think is a disciplinarian, from what I saw, right? How was your upbringing and your childhood in that vicinity?
I have to say our parents were very strict. Mom and dad, they did a beautiful thing having their kids and wanting a better life for them. And I think that's when my dad migrated. He was in England, in Holland, where my brother Pandit Vishnu was born. A lot of people don't know that about
In
him.
Holland, really?
Well, now they know.
Now you guys know.
He's Dutch, yeah.
And he had his Dutch passport and everything. And I think he kind of gave it up when he went to college.
Yeah.
But the 3 girls was born in Guyana, and then my 2 last siblings was born over here. So it was from Guyana over here, England, and then back to America. And they went through a lot. They went through a lot with the hustle, working more than one jobs, having barely anything to eat, but making sure that their kids were safe. I remember us coming over here and going for our citizenship and having to, learn a lot of different things, our language. Even now, the Guyanese accent comes out in certain words, and it's, but that's what makes us who we are.
Yeah, yeah.
And my parents being very strict, it meant that they wanted us to go to school. They wanted us to take an education and be a part of culture and learn. And going around with my dad at the age of 7 and 10 and 15 and 20, it was so many different homes I was visiting in every single borough, even other states, other countries. But it was all back to the same thing, rooted in culture and family. And I think that was important. And it's important to a lot of our community and our families. They wanted a better life, so they left Guyana. They didn't leave Guyana because they hated their country. We all love our country. We all have to go back over there. And some people have good and bad memories, but it made us who we are. I would never want to not know those stories.
Yeah.
It makes it special. It makes us want to work harder and prove ourselves. And nowadays, it's not about proving yourself. It's about walking into a room and being so confident that you already know who you are. You already know the struggles.
Yeah.
But also have a vision of where you want to be. And I think that's the beautiful thing. But my parents, like every other, we could tell stories, but not today.
Roddy, but was there ever a time where you didn't want to go to Mandir on a Sunday and you're like,
Wake up at 8.
I want to sleep till 10, Dad. Like, is that?
No, you know what? I think out of my sisters, they were the ones who didn't want to do it. And I was always like up, out and about. My mom would get me all the pretty outfits, and I would be the one dressing up more than my siblings. And they know they didn't want to wear it. But that was my thing. it was after school, weekends, you know? It was like I had a part-time job. I was going with my dad. I had to set up puja places. And I learned very quickly not to argue with the devotees, you know?
Wait, Bharati, so dispel some rumors for us, because I always thought like if you were a Pandit's kid, you had to be like super strict. I was like, oh man, I feel so bad for them. They have to wake up every day. They have to like follow certain rules.
Yeah, so
They gotta go to
You know,
bed.
that's the funny thing. I said this to you before. Some people think I sit in a sari at Mandir all day. No, I've gone to school. I've done programming, ran a couple of different activities and organizations, did my thing, go out with my friends, you know, go to the movies, hang out.
I guess, Bharati, like being the pundit's daughter, right? Like, was there a lot of things you couldn't do?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Just to put it very plainly.
I think honestly, my parents never put restrictions, but they wanted us to be proud of the things we did do, if that makes sense. Because I'm not just the only one. I have 5 siblings, right? So it's 3 other sisters and my 2 brothers. But they've always instilled in us, like when you're out there and people are watching you, you've got more than just your name, right? On your shoulders. And I think I didn't take that. I don't know if I could say I took that for granted. And I didn't take that as like, oh my God. But I knew wherever I went, people knew I was Pandit's daughter. So, you know, you kind of had to have filters on in certain places. Let's just say that.
To ask, right? So you mentioned that the 3 girls, your sisters, they're all, well, yourself included, I'm guessing, right? You guys were all born in Guyana.
3 of us was born in
Bharati,
Guyana. One was born in
can we go through all the siblings? Something that I forget too.
So, we have my oldest sister, Lakshmi, Penny, myself,
Okay.
Pandit Vyas,
Yes.
Pandit Krishna, and Chandani.
Okay. 6.
Right, 6.
Yeah.
So for all of us, I think the 3 girls had more of a benefit of being with my dad and going to pujas and stuff. I practically took over all of those because I would fight to go all the time. And then when my brother was of age, he was going, but he was learning also how to do certain things with the intention of maybe being a pundit, both of my brothers. And Pandit Vyas, as you all know, he's out there. He's a finance executive. He's also a pundit, young man, has a family, wife and 2 kids. My brother, Pandit Krishna, he tells you, he's like, I think I'm going to work full time and just do what I need to do in Mandir, not go out there and do all of this. And then for my younger sister, she was more in Mandir, but not so much at the pujas as well. So each one of us had a different role. So it was different for all of us. But again, I think I kind of like took the lead in going to all these pujas.
So yeah, based on what I was trying to ask, being the fact that, you know, the 3 girls that you guys was born in Guyana, right? And your dad was the pundit back home. What would you say, like, the impact it left, like, for someone that grew up in Guyana, right? So you were able to experience the lifestyle, you know, experience the freedom.
Yeah, so
as
how
a
old
little
were you came
kid.
here, Bharati?
7.
7. Oh, so you have a good memory.
you were,
then.
I remember saying bye to my parents, and then the next thing you know, I was the one on the plane. Leaving my grandparents because my grandparents took care of us.
How would you say that, like, that influenced you, like, culture-wise?
So they always joke that I haven't lost my accent, and when I go back, I sound just like a Guyanese person.
I don't hear it.
I don't know. No,
Give us a
but
little
the
taste.
Creole comes out, right? The Guyanese Creole comes out. And I love it. Just the other day, after Mandir service, I had my puri leaves with rice and dal and my 7 curry, and I was eating.
Sane.
Yes, there you go. That word that nobody knows what it means, right? Sane that.
Can you spell the word sane for me?
Honey, I've never heard that one.
I cannot.
Brandon,
but
have you ever
listen,
saneed something before?
Of course, all the time.
it's-
Brandon sautés a lot of stuff.
Listen, I think the best thing to do when you're eating salmon curry or bojan, as you call it.
Wait, Bharati, do you get tired eating 7 curry?
Oh yeah, that's
No.
actually what I was
I
gonna
am.
ask.
No,
Yeah.
fun fact you learn after a while of what you eat, when you eat, which puja you eat at.
So this is what I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask you your favorite food in, you know, sort of like temple and out of temple.
So
Damn, just stole my
Monday-
question.
in Mandir, it's always, you know, I love dal and rice and katar.
Oh, Brandon loves that too.
I
What?
love my dollar rice.
Katar or no katar, same katar. But
Very good.
outside of Mandir,
Buffalo Wild Wings.
No, we can't be-
Negative.
Has to
Negative.
be-
I actually love a restaurant called Neem Indian Cuisine in Riverdale.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it. Yeah.
So their
What's your favorite
samosas
dish from
there
there?
is amazing, and their chai,
See.
and then their vegetarian thali, and a few other dishes.
Listen, you talking about Indian food now? Over the whole, Nara period, for some odd reason, right? I kept on craving Indian food. To be more specific,
Not me.
garlic naan, right? With
Garlic
chicken
naan.
tikka or butter chicken.
Oh yeah.
I kept on craving it. And
The problem is though, after you eat that, like, you want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
You got the
I
itis.
wanna go somewhere else.
as soon as my fasting is over, I don't even want it.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned fasting. I think that's the beautiful thing, right? For a lot of people, depending on their own diet, it's respectful. But for individuals who fast, whether it's a day, 5 days, 30 days before a festival, and continue, you have to give them a lot of credit.
Yeah,
Because
it's
here
discipline.
in New York, there's not a lot of places where you can go and just get a nice vegetarian meal because they know our Hindu community is fasting for these 9, 10, whatever days you're fasting, or even if you have a puja, right? Some people don't like to eat out because they don't know how the food is being prepared.
Yes.
But when you have staples like Neem Indian Cuisine, Kari Festa, Kaichor, these are places, or some of the roti shops around, you know the aunties and uncles in there, right? So you could simply ask, how is that? And they'll, to be honest with you. But it's really hard for our people to go into other places and they don't even know about our culture, how to prepare food. And I respect, like even Melanie's, when their kitchen open, they tend to cook vegetarian stuff before if someone makes an order and all that. And
I
that you
know
have,
that. I
shout
know.
out to all the businesses that do this, you know.
that takes a lot.
Because again, we don't see them. So they could tell us anything.
Take that.
But it's something where people fast and then it's like, oh, the craving comes in after.
Yeah.
But it's also, that's a high tolerance to be able to go without meat or alcohol or anything
So,
for such a long time.
Bharati, let's go back on that topic for a second, right? Fasting, right? So as a Pandit's daughter and being so heavily involved in the community, let's explain like what fasting is. Most people think fasting is just not eating meat for these 9 days.
Yeah. I think a lot of people
Listen,
think that.
What is in
I've
the
learned
fast?
over the years to each its own, first and foremost. But fasting is usually no eggs, fish, meat, or alcohol. But there are also different type of fasting where you could do all water, all sweet. And for us Hindu, it's not sun up to sundown. And again, it comes back to the family. Because a lot of things that we practice is he said, she said, them said, and nobody knows who actually said it.
Yeah.
Let's be
Sometimes
real.
even dates.
Let's
Sometimes
be
the
real.
dates get misconstrued.
Well, you know
right?
who's a big faster? This guy right here.
Oh, geez.
It's the saute.
So I give credit to people. So to each its own, and you learn over. But I usually tell people, including my friends who aren't Hindus, and they come to the mandir, I'm like, no eggs, fish, meat, or alcohol. If you know that you're partaking in things that are not, so nice,
Kosher.
kosher, to use that word, then it's okay. Don't come to mandir. If you come to mandir and you do all these things, look. There are people that comes there, we don't know their situation, what they've done, what they haven't done. And we could joke about it here and say whether they showered or didn't shower, ate or didn't eat or didn't eat, went to work all day and had to come home. But society doesn't allow you this time, right? So if you went to work all day, you change into your kurta, you come, you sit in the back. Usually you go up front. It's to your own. I can't tell you the book says you can't do this because it's not there. I can't show it to you. I can say it again, go back to he said, she said, and nobody knows who said. But I think to each its own, and you have to understand when you come to Mandir and you want to do something, your heart is pure.
Yeah.
Right? And I really want to encourage everyone from the youth and even the older folks. That is how it is. We're in a time where if our birthday happens today and we can't celebrate or take off from work, we have to celebrate it on the weekend. So we need to stop putting so much pressure on each other and holding each other accountable to say that, you know what? It's okay if we couldn't do this service on Monday today, we'll do it on Sunday.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
But sometimes we are our worst critics. We're our best supporters. But our community at times, you guys are hard on people. And I'll say that being a Pandit daughter, being, working in all these different areas, from my professional job to being at Mandir to being someone who organizes and out in the community doing a lot of cultural program and events and activities. So I was out, did work, came back, saw my grandparents, had an event, came back, finished up my work, went home, then have to go to Mandir.
Yeah,
And
always on. I know.
it's a lot of things, but we have to be kinder. I think if you wake up every day, just be kind to yourself and remind yourself to be kind to others, even if you're behind a phone or a computer. Sometimes we don't realize the individuals, our words, touches, or our comments, and it's not hateful when we type it, but it becomes toxic when it sits there and other people have to chime in, right? Because you never know the whole story. And I just want to encourage everyone out there to be kind to each other. Our Hindu community, our Guyanese community, our Caribbean community, be kind to each other. Be kind to individual. Be kind to Mandirs. Be kind. You know, there are a lot of things that happen. Yes. And not just because my brother's a pundit or my dad was a pundit. I say this all the time. Sometimes we don't think that a pundit has a full-time job and a family and then have to come there or leave whatever they're doing to satisfy a devotee. They could easily say no. When you guys are booked, you could say no, but then you become the bad one because it's like, KIC told us no, or the price doesn't match, or they're not available, or they can't do what we want.
Yeah.
That's fine, but you ask that person and allow them to communicate with you, right? So it's the same thing. Wake up every single day to be a little kinder because you never know the impact that you're making on a person. Like, my dad didn't go out there and say, you know what, when I die, I want people to remember me. You were there as a young man. He's like, play the drum because he knows you play the drum, right? Or the dolak. But that left an impression on you. And I think that's a beautiful thing. You never know. At the end of the day, you never know who's looking, who's watching. And I'm sure your music has made it into rooms that you haven't even stepped into yet.
I have a question. So from seeing us from nothing basically and not knowing how to play and growing to what we are today, right? Is there anything that you think that we could enhance and get better at?
I love how you guys say you came from nothing and you didn't know anything. You had a skill you were trying to perfect. It's like
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We didn't have no.
No, some of us did. I don't know about others.
Who, Rich?
Listen, I have to be honest, watching you guys grow is beautiful because you took it upon yourself to learn, one, how to come into a room, two, dress code, three, behaviors. Because I've seen you guys in a couple of rooms. When Pandit comes in,
These guys.
you know, and the laughing, the giggling still starts. And I love seeing when my dad or my brother will walk in and you'll see Rich like, Pandit's here, or it's Pandit Vyas, or it's Pandit Vishnu, because I'm like, do they do these in other rooms too? Like, but I think you guys are on a path that is parallel to each other because you're all living your own lives. So it's not a mirror. You're not staring at each other's live and mimicking it. I think even with other groups out there, shout out to those groups that are doing great things.
Absolutely,
but you guys have branded yourself, and your brand comes as a walking image of who you are. Because you walk into a room, they might not know you, and they're like, oh, he's with KIC. And I think that's a beautiful thing, but also it goes back to like behavior. And I walk into a room in a sari and they know who I am, but at the same time, it's not a puja. It might be a work event. You carry that brand with you, and I think it's something that will live on and be preserved. And other kids, I'm sure there are little kids out there like playing their tassa drums at home that you've never met.
No, absolutely.
So I think every single day perfecting your own skill and knowing that no one could take that away from you. And even if you were not to play as a group, the fact that you can function alone is beautiful. So as much as I want to give you more advice on, you know, the way you guys are and how to get better and be better, I think you're doing a fantastic job. And I've seen that change. At first, I'm like, they're not dressed for Mandir. Then it was, you know, oh, there's only two of them here. What's going on? Or, you know, and then seeing you as a group, seeing you all decked out from head to toe and playing and also engaging the community. And something which over the last, I think, 2 years is even with the dance group. I've watched you guys incorporate it. I mean, like, you got to work on those feet movements, you know, foot movements.
Shout out to Sanasani.
Shout out to Sanasani,
I want to thank you, right? Because you know, a couple of years back, right, you gave me the opportunity to be on TV when you was televising your programs, right?
He was on TV.
No, we all were on TV. Wait, hold on. Let's think about that for 1 second, right? No, wait, hold on. Everyone used to watch.
Was it Cops? Was it
Yes.
TV show?
So we had cable network had I think 3 running Vishnu Mandir program, Voice of Hinduism, Voice of Hindu Dharma.
I remember watching it on Sunday.
Yeah.
So,
you guys were featured on that.
Right? I wanted to thank
Oh, yeah,
you
that is true.
because
Yeah, yeah.
you gave me an opportunity to be on television, right? One. Two, you allowed other people to, you know, participate when they couldn't, attend the temple. Um, the third thing I would say is that you gave Brandon's uncle and his relative an opportunity, right? Because from them watching that I don't know, for some reason it probably got them to go to temple, and
No,
then
yeah,
for
Bronte's
some
responsible for
for
Brandon
some
being
odd
here. Yeah.
reason, right?
Really, I want to know that. Half of these things you guys are
His
telling me
family
now.
got in contact with me, and then that's how come we
Yeah,
got
I
him.
think my uncle came to. I think it was
And when I asked,
Vishnu
when I
or
finally
Beach, one of
spoke to
them.
his uncle was like, yeah, we went to Vishnu Mandir and
so
we got your
there you
number,
go.
right? That my sister got your number, or somebody got your number from your grandpa or from one of the aunties at the temple, right? So that's why I'm calling you, and I want you to teach. I want you to teach this guy. And he was he was giving me the accent.
I
Right?
have to, comment on that a little bit because one, everyone who comes, it's a clean page. My dad will be like, "Oh, you don't know how to play? Let's learn."
No, yeah,
And there was no teacher there.
Yeah,
But the fact that you could just like listen and do your own thing, but also this is going to be a little sensitive topic, right? Everyone, again, to each its own. How you run, what you do, how you do, it's on you. But back then, it was people wanted individuals who would come out, but they couldn't afford to pay them.
yeah.
Or there wasn't a price set. You give what you want. And I have to say, sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't. Because consciously, I think you have to think to yourself, is what you're giving someone compensating them for their time, their energy, and their transportation going over a bridge, coming back, or buying lunch or doing something? And if you're Dolak, I remember that was a big thing. Some individuals will not share their music because if you pop their tabla or their Dolak, who's going to repair it?
Yeah.
Right? So all of this factor comes in, and I said it's sensitive because I know people and price, sometimes it gets muddy. To each its own. Do whatever you guys want, how you want, who loves you, who hires you, that's on you and your organization, your company, or whatever. But my dad was very big on the youth and individuals with a talent being able to share that. And I remember specifically when someone passed away and no group was available. And my dad was like, you know what? Brian and his grandpa is going to come.
Brian's
you guys
grandpa actually
showed
came
up.
for us too.
And
Yeah.
you showed up, right? Or when we have anything on Mandir and I will give out I was like, I don't know anyone else. I know Rich. Rich plays Tasa. And he's like, what? What did you do? And he would look at you guys now. But having a number to call is very hard. So I think once all of this, is out there and you guys want to tag your businesses on what you do and your talents, please do, because we have to start that spider web of a contact list with our own
absolutely.
people. Because when someone passes away, we don't know.
Yeah, no, true.
They need a music group. They need a dolak player. They need a harmonium player. They need a singer. They need a tasa group, right? Or they might need somebody to fix their sari. These things all come up and we never think about it. And we hire outside people who don't know and can perfect things to our liking. So I think that, seeing people grow up and learning these little stories and hearing back these stories. And it was my chacha who's on Beach Avenue, Pandit Porsho, and my dad, Pandit Vishnu, was on Noble Avenue. So it was like when you played at this Mandir and somebody knew you play, it was like they were exchanging numbers and like come next week. And it was really hard. So this is a question to you guys. How do you manage your time with so many demands?
I
That is a
think
good question.
with the calendar for sure, right? Really planning out my day and my time and trying to get all my like chores and all the things that I have to done before we have to go play. Because, sometimes that's why we're so glad to see your dad. Like sometimes these weddings would last for hours, right? And then
not only that too, there's times where we go to an event, right? And like we'll probably have another event to go to. And like you said, to each their own. Every pundit does their thing their own way, right? Some people take a little bit of time. Some people take, the more people to see, the more time they want, right? He understood that, right? And your brother as well. They understand that nobody has 8 hours to just sit down, right, for a jandi. Also, it shouldn't take 8 hours just for a regular jandi, right?
Oh, and he's not like being exaggerating either. Right? Sometimes.
So I'm going to be honest. This is, speaking outside and seeing what I see and hearing what I hear. And again, it's no knock on anybody, so don't get too sensitive. But a puja, time span, you have to think about people's time, their energy, who's there, their age, their health. If you have a pandit sitting out in a hot sun during the summer day, it's very different than having him in your home and not offering your guests water and having them out there. And it's an open area, and you see the lightning, you see the clouds.
Yeah.
Actually,
I remember we got a little scared at Richie's wedding.
we had a wedding, I think last year, guys, right?
Where the Pandit fainted.
Yeah, they had a clear tent.
Yeah, the Pandit
right,
fainted.
and it was like July, and of course the heat is coming straight through, and the Pandit fainted.
Wow.
During the wedding.
And
I
they had
did
to
hear
call
about
someone via FaceTime to finish the wedding.
Yeah, that's the craziest story I've ever heard.
I'm glad you said that, because I always wondered how that wedding ended up. I didn't know it was a FaceTime issue.
It was a FaceTime.
Someone actually called me and asked me, "Is your brother doing a puja right now?" I was like, "He probably is, but why?" They're like, "Well, someone just fainted. It's all over the internet." And I'm like,
Oh, it's
"What?"
not gonna be Vyas. Vyas is strong.
No, but listen,
He just got
Rich's
the high.
wedding, the clouds was coming. It was such a celestial moment. And I mean, like, he was standing there waiting for his bride, and she was coming in. It was a little wind. And
Yeah, I was a little worried.
Shivi,
I was a little
my
worried.
god brother, he is your wedding planner.
Yes.
And he said in all of the years he's done that, it was the first time that there was like wind, rain, sun, clouds.
Downpour.
It was just beautiful. And
Yeah.
everybody was getting up slowly, and they were trying not to make a lot of noise. And I was like, oh my God, what's happening? But yeah, they stood up, and she was coming in, and Pandit was just standing there, and my little nephew Veer, he's coming up
Oh,
sharp.
we love Veer, guys. Shout out to Veer. And
He's doing
Dion,
really
right?
good, and he actually loves it. That's the thing about Veer. As a 6-year-old young boy, he enjoys reading his mantras. But going back to this, it's people don't think about this time. You have to. We have to hold ourselves accountable that it's not that a pandit is rushing a work, or that this puja needs to be like 4 hours, 6 hours. Think about when you invite your guests. And if you're not home or you have a wedding, you have all of these things in play, from groups to food vendors to the makeup artists and people who are getting you ready, to the setup crew. You're renting a place. You can't stay there past certain time, then you have to pay more. So the same thing when you do a home puja or a yard puja and you have guests coming to your location, you have to think about that pandit getting to and from a location, being there, your music group, how they're singing. And I also think accountability needs to be on everyone. And we don't talk about this enough, and it's brought up here. If it's the first conversation, I don't know. But I think more people need to have it, right? Because think about a puja. My dad was very intentional in having like 2-3 hours maybe, but in between there he'll move his mic away. He'll allow the kirtan group to sing. If he was doing a Durga puja, Ganesh puja, Hanuman puja, he would give the group to sing. So in between his lecture, his puja, they were also getting to sing, because that's why they're there.
Yeah.
Even the Tasa group, if you know you're coming in at a certain time, you're ready to play, you're there on time. And this goes out for all the vendors, not just the devotees or
Always
the
there on time.
host. Right? Make sure on time that you're there, you're able to start. I've gone to an event where the guests came out almost 2 hours later. I was still there doing henna. After half hour passed, the dancer said, "Please play my music." Played, he performed, and he said, "Thank you and have a great day." When the guest came out, she's like, "Where's the dancer?" We're like, "He already performed and left." And he's like, and that comes into why we create things. He says,
Yeah.
"My contract says so and so. I still gave you half hour of my time."
Yeah.
So we also have to respect people's time. But my dad did not want you to sit there and fall asleep. I'm sure there are old videos of me falling asleep.
No,
at
well,
pujas,
so Bharati,
but-
so your dad was the first pandit I really encountered that respected time, right? Like all the other pandits in my childhood, like I remember sometimes going to,
Still love you
temple.
guys.
Going to temple from like 9 and coming out at like 2 p.m.
Yeah,
And that was when
ridiculous.
like, we were in school, right? And I had homework to do or like a paper to write. And I'm just like, oh man, like we're here for a long time.
Well, at least you had to go home. I had to bring mine to Mandir.
Yeah.
It's like, homework? What homework? Study?
You did
pray,
homework in the Mandir, Bharati?
pray, and God will help you.
You did homework in
Of
that one?
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Wow.
So I
But
just
good.
said, people have videos of me
I do
falling
wanna
asleep
ask,
too.
right? Our first time in City Hall.
Yeah.
Do you remember our first time in City Hall?
All right, so this is a great story because the first time we went to City Hall with you, Bharati, we got a police escort there, right? And at the time, right, that was the coolest thing
It was
ever.
it was a very scary moment, but a very cool moment at the time. We got escorted in and escorted out. No, we didn't get escorted out.
No, we got escorted out too.
We got escorted out too. Yeah,
Because
and
we had all our
yes, and
drums.
we took the picture outside where we got escorted out.
Yes,
front.
yes. And it was
Um,
like a busy day on like the FDR, yeah.
You guys still remember that?
Yeah.
Listen, again, like I said, you gave us. You were one of the first people, one of the first person that was there when we started out, and you gave us that extra boost that we needed
No,
at the
it
time.
means
At the
such
time
a
when
great
we
deal.
needed it.
It really does. It really
So
does.
that was actually community affairs.
Um, Thanks
NYPD,
to- but
because
thanks
they
to
would
you-
escort people to and from certain events
But
in
thanks to
different
you,
areas.
right? Thanks to you, we had the opportunity to actually play Tasa, right? A Caribbean thing in
City Hall.
City Hall,
Yeah.
which is very big.
I know the White House next on your list, right?
Oh, we go into the White House
So
to
we've
Bharati
been,
next.
we've
Right,
been
Bharati?
shooting. We've been shooting
That's
for.
right.
As long as they don't do it on our festival. That's a pet peeve of mine. For me personally, again, I don't know about everybody out there or you guys. I would like non-Hindus to do our festival and show appreciation on a non-Hindu day. Diwali, I want to go to my mandir, see my
Yeah,
people. Some people stay at home and do their puja. So if you are hosting an event for us, if anybody's watching, do it on the day before, the day after, the weekend after. We'll still love you. But when you do it on our day, it's really hard and our community becomes very divided because, of course, why would you want to turn down an invite to the White House? But then you miss doing your puja. You miss being with your family and friends. It's like you missing your engagement party because someone called you to a celebration
Yes.
and you can't be there and it's yours, right? So that has been something I've been talking about for years now. And sometimes people think it's rude. Sometimes people don't understand. I want to say personally, I always encourage and ask people to do our festivals on a non-festival day. So we as practicing Hindus can get to celebrate first and then do whatever we ask. And it gives us more freedom to be able to come out and do what we want and not have to rush back to Mandir and
Yes.
have to worry if like things are the proper way if we're fasting or not. But it's also beautiful to celebrate our culture. And I think you guys have been part of holy festivals all over. And that's something that people have been doing all month, even the next month. Right? And it's not about the religious meaning and the spiritual meaning, but it's also just doing it so people can see our culture. Little Veer had a holy day at his school.
Wow.
Everybody sat in a circle and they were able to play with the colors and, talk to each other and send the message around. And it's beautiful because they understand it. And he's, growing up, people probably like, what are you doing? Color palette. Now you see it's become such a big thing that people
Yeah.
are doing color run and boat
Yeah,
rides, and it's not just being at Mandir or being with your family and friends playing holy. Again, there are many different meanings, and I think we're in a time where we have to open up our own spaces and say that, you know what, this is not a religious thing, but this is more about educating yourself. And of course, you have to be respectful, but how are you going to do that? When we talk to each other and we tell people what's right and what's not.
I know we're a little pressed on time and everything, right? But I do want to ask you real quick. What is one thing that you could give to the audience, right, for the generation, for our next generation, to so that way
with the
our
culture,
culture don't get lost.
I think everything we do now, whether it's with the culture or practices, the clothes we wear, the food we cook, understand that it'll change. And what we do now to preserve this culture is not even for us. It's for the future generation. And I want you all to know that we've made it this far and we still got culture intact. So it doesn't matter where you go, if you have an accent, if you cook certain things, if you love to put coconut oil in your hair. It's you. It's part of
It's a
what
great
our
thing.
ancestors did. Yeah, we could see your hair growing, right?
Bernie, coconut oil here?
Of course, not now, but I let it sit overnight.
So what I would say to them is honestly be happy of who you are, of your history, of what you're presently doing. And if you're in a family that doesn't practice as much and you want to do it, then find a mandir, find a group, find something that brings you closer to that culture and keep doing it. And however you do it, understand that there's no right or wrong way as long as you do it with a true heart. And I'm a very big believer of that. If not, I would not invite you guys, out of nowhere to start something that I didn't see a potential. And I was new to all of that too. But when you sound a little confident and you keep doing what you're doing, people start believing in you. And I wouldn't have gotten this far over a decade, with such amazing individuals to showcase their talent, from dance to tasa to henna design to pujas. And it's okay to share contacts. It's okay
Absolutely.
to say thank you to someone. It's okay to say no to someone. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves because of society and because of social media, whether we could do things, and we thread very lightly. But you have to be confident in who you are. And if you've made a mistake, apologize and keep it moving.
Yeah.
If we keep dwelling on the past and keep ripping a Band-Aid off, we're never going to heal. So I want everybody out there to know that our culture, our spices, it makes us who we are. Our religious practices keeps us thriving and wanting more and believing in something. And I think that is so important.
Absolutely. Guys, any last questions before we end off? I have one last question for you, Bharati. So you always come off as an extremely confident, well-spoken person, right? And I'm sure that may ruffle some, people's feathers every so often. How do you remain so optimistic, so confident, and really unfazed by anyone's criticisms?
I don't wake up with an intention to be forceful with my words or to hurt someone. And when I go to sleep, I'm able to look myself in the mirror and say, today was a great day. I do have my moments. I have my pillow moments. I have my car moments. And I joked with someone that I listen to Christian music, screaming and yelling and crying. I can only imagine what the person next to me in the car is thinking. But I'm human at the end of the day. And things hurt me and things get to me. And that's why I said earlier, be kind, because you never know how that impacts someone's life when you walk away.
Absolutely.
And you guys are in rooms that you never stepped into because people are watching you and says, I can do this. And I'm sure one day when you meet that person, it's like, I see you, you'll be like, you see me? Where? Right? And I think that's a beautiful thing, from watching people on TV to you guys being on TV. Yeah. It shifts everything, right? And I wake up every single day because I know I want to leave the world a better place. I know that not everyone will like me. I know that not everyone has the opportunity as I do. But I stay confident because I truly love what I do and I want to keep doing it. And however I can empower someone else to be out there, be proud of what they're doing, give them a little advice, I want to keep doing it. And the world's not a nice place.
No.
The people in it are not kind people, but we have to be that change, right? We have to make people feel a certain type of way, because my dad not being here and you guys remembering him, that shows that, one, for myself, I learned by looking at what he was doing, not necessarily him teaching me. Two, you guys remember him because that's how he made you feel when you were in a room with him. Mm-hmm. And three, if we didn't care to preserve our own culture in playing the dolak or going to weddings or being a part of puja in Mandir, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
That's right.
So I think it's really important to wake up every single day, even if you don't have that confidence in yourself. Find someone else that'll boost you, and have a team. It could be one person, it could be 10 people, but make sure at the end of the day, you have to pull your own weight.
Very nice.
I have a quick question. I know we are.
Push. Go.
Quick question. What are some things, right, that you think that for someone that's non-cultured, mm-hmm. right, like, or that's not very versatile in our culture and our religion and our ways, what are some things that you think you could do for that community so that way they have a better understanding? And understanding the way we do certain things, so for example, the reason why I asked this is when we go on Mati course, for example, right, and they sit there to do that little prayer,
they have no idea.
They not only that, they light the little fire on the ground. A lot of people that.
How do you see that? Did you get married?
No, but I'm always, I'm always.
Why'd you go there? I thought guys were supposed to.
I'm always playing Tasa for it, so I tend to look on to see what it is that they're doing, so I can learn a thing or two. So because we go to trust me, right? When I say this, we go to a lot of Matikoras, right? A lot of Digdatis, and the people, they don't know what to do. They're so lost. right? Sometimes we have to help them, like, oh yeah, this is what you have to do. We try to tell them, like, from our little experience, okay, this is what you do, this is what you say, certain things like that. There are also people that, like, non-Indians or non-Caribbeans that, that walk past and that would look onto it, and they got questions to ask, like, oh, what is going on? Why you guys are doing this? What is being said, right? So my thing is, what are some things that we could do in order to, help those people?
I've heard a lot of stories, good ones and not so good ones.
Oh, jeez.
We got a lot of not so good ones.
And I'm
yeah.
sure you guys have been part of those stories, right? Firsthand experience. I once heard this pundit say, and that was when my dad passed, an older pundit, and he said when he first started doing pundit work and he went to the Manticore, he waited, sun went down, and then they said, "Pundit, what do we do?" And he said, "How am I supposed to know? Men aren't allowed to go there." And this was back home in Guyana. And he said they eventually figured it out, and from someone else who had a wedding. And he went home and he told his dad, and his dad explained to him because he had more experience. But he said, and for me, that was an awakening moment, because he said, how is a young man or a young pundit supposed to know what the ladies do when they leave and come back and they go dig dati? Right? That's exactly how you said it. But it's the same thing for you guys. If you weren't playing toss and you didn't have the firsthand knowledge and experience,
Yeah, I know nothing
which you
either.
gained after, you wouldn't know what to direct these people. And I think more individuals who are planners and who have done weddings and those amazing influencers
I don't think
who are showcasing things need to, maybe that's something we need to start. Hey,
Yeah, I was gonna
this
say,
is an
I don't
idea
think- I don't think, like,
that's
I
starting
don't think
here.
most of the planners out here actually know what it is that has to,
But there's not a video that you could find on the
Yeah,
internet to
so-
tell you.
Oh, maybe we need to do that.
Exactly. So
Go on
if any
YouTube.
of you out there have all these experience and done weddings and funerals, including the pundits and those who prepare all of these puja items and venues, they could be on the podcast too. Right?
Well, Bharati, we plan to have Yas on in the future, but he actually came up to me with an idea about like how to set up a puja the correct way.
And I think that's
And-
something we need to show more of, right? We show a lot of things. Dolak playing, chautal, Ramayan Gol, pujas, both in our Hindu mandirs, madrasi temples, and other places, weddings, funerals, but we never see the details. And it takes a lot of time. But I think if you guys, an individual, it'll definitely take a whole team. But even individuals out there that are hearing and seeing this, to do segments that are detailed. And again, you have to keep an open mind that my way might not be your way.
Correct.
During Navratri, there are devotees that do 1 coconut, some do 9, some do 10, some bursts, some don't, some have it whole, some have it completely like cleaned out. So we have to understand again that things have been, passed down for generations. And it changes, right? We're not in Guyana, we're here. Especially when we do puja and we want to take things to the water, or we do Ganga puja and we're doing it by the river, you have to clean up after.
Yeah.
You can immerse those things in the water, take it out, tie it in a clean bag, and put it where you need to. And remember, when you leave these murtis and these saris and everything, it becomes a problem for the water life. But also these murtis get washed away and broken. And that's a murti that you just offered your prayers to, right? And I think we all have to be conscious about that. So in doing this, I think there definitely needs to be some segments and planning into that of what you do, how you do it. And you can start a list about, maybe a puja to start off or a hawan, what's needed. And again, it's going to take an entire team because it's not just something we could discuss. It'll have to be see it, to know it, and then understand what's being done. And again, your way might not be my way. And if you don't have pan leaves, maybe use mango leaves. If you don't have sapari, I don't know, you use flowers, right? So things change depending on the ingredients you have and where you're located, the weather outside. A lot of factors has changed compared to when our great ancestors did puja in India and then in the Caribbean, right?
Yes.
So we have to keep an open mind as we do things. And of course, we do have to have a pure heart, because you're not telling people to do whatever, whenever, however. You're saying respect it, because this is a religious practice and it's not just you going out there and doing anything. So as much as I keep an open mind and I'm very much like, you can do it your way, so you still have to be respectful. And you have to be
Yes.
proud of what you do. And you also have to be honest with the things that you're doing. So,
Bharati, we are out of time, but I really want to thank you for your time coming here today.
Yeah.
Learned a lot about you, and just thank you so much for all you do for the community.
thank you guys. I'm
Thank you.
excited to see all of this. This was new when you
Yeah,
told me you were
yeah.
doing it. And Brian, I heard this was your idea.
This is Brian's idea.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I thought Brandon was gonna be like, out here.
No.
Yeah, no. See, so this is
Waiting for the
something.
Henny.
This is something that I wanted to get more in depth with because like I said, not a lot of people are fortunate enough to experience going to temple and stuff like that. So this was.
I love it. I'm so happy and humbled to be one of your first guests.
Thank you.
And
Not
I
one,
look
you
for-
are.
That's
Oh.
right. That's
You
right.
are,
No,
actually.
no, well, we had to show
More to
some love
come.
to the person who really helped us at the start,
Thank
right?
you.
So thank you so much.
I
and-
really appreciate you guys. And there's a lot more, trust me. A lot of creativity. I know when I call Rich, he's like, huh, what are we doing? And it's nice to see that you guys are branched off too, because you just participated in the Holy Festival in Riverdale, which was beautiful. And I
We
think,
have tomorrow.
and you have
the
tomorrow.
parade's tomorrow.
Parade's
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Parade, and then you've been in Jersey. So
Yeah.
you guys are definitely moving around, especially, and it's transition, right? So not only are you guys playing at all of these events and activities, but now you're part of that learning experience for these kids.
Absolutely.
So it's already happening. It's just that we've got to do it for ourselves and for our community that wants to learn a little bit more and that needs to know.
We got 3 words that we go by. What are those 3 words?
Oh, educate, enlighten, and
We gotta entertain too, right? Like,
educate,
I'm an
enlighten,
entertainer,
and
right?
entertain. Come on, man. You already know them 3
No,
words.
no.
Beautiful.
Well, that's what we did. We sort of frame everything we do around, and I feel like this sort of fell right in there.
Well-balanced lives. I think, look, we all have to do it. We are in different rooms. We wear different outfits. But at the end of the day, we're still the same human being. But there's a lot more than what you see. And clearly, seeing you guys sit around here or at work, when I see Tamesh on the subway, I'm like, where is he going? He's not playing Tasa in that suit. But
Yeah, Mesh.
that's a good thing, right? Because we don't see each other unless it's out there on the internet or we're engaged or involved in each other's life. But there's so much more to everybody that you see. And I think it's a beautiful thing.
Well, Bharati, thank you so much. Really
Thank you guys
appreciate
for
your
having
time.
me.
And it sounds like we could talk for like another hour. We're gonna have you again sometime in the future.
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
kick us
probably
out
maybe
of here.
outside of the studio.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do something outside of the studio.
But thank you guys so much. And this has been the KICBack podcast. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.